Hey guys, it's Perelyn here. And in this video, I'm going to be putting you guys through on how you can create, mint, and transfer tokens with Still. So let's get started. Do, 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 do. So remember to create a new Still project. We just do Still new, and now let's open it up. So, if you've seen my previous video, you should remember that typically when I'm working on Still projects, I like to start with API because API has most of the things we're going to need in program. So I like to just start off with API before I go to program. We're not going to be using state, so we just remove states and errors. Honestly, we can remove const too. Yeah, so let's start off its instructions. So the first thing we want to do is create the token. So let's call that instruction create. Let's remove add for now. So change this to create. What else? Okay, let's go over to lib.tars. So why is this not? Hmm. I'm surprised that Rust Analyzer isn't throwing errors since I removed a couple of those modules. Oh, but yeah. So over in SDK, we're just going to create the function for generating the create instruction. So for create, we're going to need a couple of accounts. We're going to need let's say user account. User is going to be the person who creates the token. Then what else are we going? Oh, yeah. Back to initialize. We're going to send a couple of data to for this instruction. That's like the name, the symbol, URI, those regular stuff you need for your token. So we add that in instruction.rs under this spot. So we're defining the instruction data. So that's going to be U8, let's say 32 for the name. Symbol, you can say you can make symbol about 8. Um, what else? Name, symbol, or URI. Can make that around 128, then decimal. U8. Yeah, so this is just the data we're going to be sending to for this instruction. So this is basically the instruction data. So that's leave.rs exactly. Those are the errors I want to see. Sometimes you just want to see errors you're expecting. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so we're going to need the user account. What else are we going to need? Mint account. We're going to need the metadata account to store the token metadata. Token program. Do we need the ATA program at this point? I don't think so. MPL token metadata account program. Yeah, and definitely system program. Am I missing something? Honestly, let's just move ahead. So yeah, to be able to use SPL and MPL metadata program, we need to add them. So you can add them with regular cargo add. You just do SPL token and MPL. That should be token metadata. Yeah. So it's going to access which package to add it to. Is it going to be token program or token API? So I'm going to add it to token API. What I want for what I would prefer it to stay is at the root, but I don't think I know a command to get it to the root. So I'm just going to add it to the API, then move it to the roots, if that makes sense. So basically I'm putting it here. It should appear here in a minute. Why is it not appearing here? Oh, look at it. So um so take this to bring them to the root, cargo.storm, bring them here, and just have it here. So sys what do you call it? The SPL token has we have to use the no entry feature for SPL token, or when we're going to like run it, it's going to run into some errors. Um, so that's version so features, and it's going to be like no entry point. So it's going to treat it as like a library. We're going to like use the contents in SPL token instead of like treating it as a program. So when we run cargo build, that's like still build. It doesn't like run this as a program. Yeah, so since we're going to be needing these two dependencies in API, but I don't like use their what do you call it? Their versions indirectly. I just want to use them with like workspaces. So you do that with like just putting their name, then workspace equals true. You do the same thing for SPL. Dot workspace equals true. And with this, we should have access to, yeah, should have access to it. So back to SDK. So these are the accounts we are going to be needing if I didn't forget anything. So let's change this to user. Next to be mint. We can get mint from the user. So let's just put this. Okay, this is going to be mint. So we're also creating mint. So it's going to be true. It's going to be a signer. Mint is going to be a signer. So that's basically what the second parameter means. It's is signer. It's signer. So mint is going to be like a signer because we're going to be like be creating it in here. So yeah, after means we need metadata. So metadata, that's just like a MPL token metadata PDA. So just the PDA to store the metadata for our program. So that is not going to be a signer. So yeah, we can just call it metadata, and we can derive it ourselves. So it'd be like let's metadata equals pub key, find program address, and the seed should be, first one should be metadata 2 bytes. Yeah, or is it as bytes? Oh yeah, it has bytes. And the next one is going to be, is it the MPL ID? I'm thinking it's the MPL ID. Yeah, the ID was as ref. Then the next one is going to be the means as ref also. And the program ID is going to be the MPL token metadata accounts. Yes, and this should return a tuple, but we don't want the bump, we just want the pub key. So yeah, we have metadata. After metadata, we need also the token program. So when you're like you want to add programs, you typically use new read only. So you're not going to be like using new like you did with regular accounts. So we can just copy that and we do SPL token, and this should access the ID. And after that, we need the MPL token metadata. So token metadata, and yes, that should access it too. Then over in data, we need to change this to create. And remember, we're assigning like the name, symbol, and all that mumbo jumbo to this instruction. So we have to add its name. What type did I use for name? Was it? I think it was a U832. symbol U8 8. What was next? Symbol URI was U8 U. Oh no. My keyboard switched. Listen for a minute. So roger 8 128 and decimal. Yeah, so over here we go name, symbol, URI, and decimal. And why is this giving me an error? Private. Oh, so I just have to come over here and make each of them pub. Skill issue. But honestly, that's the reason I love Rust. You don't need to get everything right. If you're familiar with the compiler, you're fine to go ahead with a lot of things. Yeah, decimals should be a U8. What's the problem with that? No such field. I did not add. Oh, I did add decimal. So what's the issue? No such field. The Rust analyzer could just be acting up. You know what? I'll close it and open it again. Weird. Uh, hmm. Create the decimals. Saying, oh, exactly. I called it decimal, not decimals. You have to love computers. So, yeah, and with that, we should be done with API, so we can move on to program. So we're not going to be using add. Let's just delete add. Let's rename initialize to like create. I'm a pretty lazy dev, like, so most times I like to just use what I already have in the template instead of like creating everything from scratch. Remove this. If you've seen my previous videos, you should be familiar with what I'm doing. I'm trying to make this a bit fast. I'm trying to make this a bit fast so the videos are shorter because honestly, personally, I'm not the type of person to watch a video that's really long. But yeah, I'm just renaming stuff for now. So time to get into the actual logic for um, the create instruction. Yeah. So typically, when I am working on program, I like to have SDK on the side just to remind myself the accounts that I'm supposed to pass in because honestly, I have a shitty memory. Am I even supposed to use that S word on YouTube? Honestly, I don't know. So the first one is user. So call it user info. After user info is mint info. After mint info, we have metadata info. And after that, we have we can call it the token program on this side. Token program. Oh, I forgot something. Yeah. The rent CISVA. I think we're going to need the rent CISVA when we're, at what point exactly? I think we're going to need the rent CISVA when we're initializing what they call it, the mint. Yeah, we're going to need it when we're initializing the mint. Is there a CISVA type on accounts? I can't remember. Honestly, I'll have to look into it. There's new read only. Now I can't remember if I can use read only with CISVA, but honestly, if it doesn't work, the compiler will just tell me later on. So rent. do, do, do. So that would be CISVA rent ID. Yeah, they should be right. So over here, you stop that token. Next would be token metadata. After that to be system program. And after that to be CISVA rent. Yeah. So I can delete all this. Yeah. Yeah. So we've loaded our accounts. What's next is to validate. So validate. Our first account user, we just have to make sure user is a signer because yeah, it should be a signer. So is a signer, yeah. And for mint info, yeah, we're creating mint info. Yeah, we also need to check if mint info is a signer. Funny enough, at this point, mint info is not created, so we also have to make sure it's empty. Also make sure it's a signer because we did set it as signer in the SDK. And yeah, that should be enough, right? For metadata info, we also should set it as what the fuck? I almost cursed. I hope YouTube doesn't take my video down. So for metadata info, we also check that to be empty. That should be empty. Is there any other validation I need to do on it? It's writable. Honestly, writable is usually not is writable. Yeah, is writable. That's the right one. Is writable usually is a good goal. Yeah, then next the token program. So for the token program, we just have to check, is this a program? Then what program in particular? So the SPL program. And this won't work because we have not imported the SPL create into program. We just added it into um, API. So just copy that over here. And if I go back to create and I do SPL token, yeah, I should be able to access ID. And what's the error now? Okay, it's borrowed. So next, the token metadata. The token metadata. I should add program over here so we don't confuse. I don't get confused. Because I'm sure you guys are pretty smart, so I'm the dumb one. I need to keep track of this stuff. So just check if it's a program. I honestly wish I was doing this with like a crowd so that I'll be sure that, oh, at specific points, am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? But it is what it is. So system program, this program, and just system program ID. And we also borrow that. And rent Sysva. So rent Sysva. We use is Sysva. Yeah, is Sysva. And then we have to check for the Sysva ID. So that should be rent. It's rent we want an ID. And okay. Also need to borrow that. I'm guessing. And yeah, we're good with this. We've done our validation. If I forgot to add something, please remind me in the comment section. But for now, let's move on. So what we're trying to do is that we're trying to like create the mints. Mints are typically what okay people use to like create more tokens, whether it be NFT or regular like fungible token. So we need to create the account for the mint info. So we're going to create it like we create any regular account. So let me just add comments to like keep track. So create the mint account. So still as the create, we're going to use the create account method from still to do that. So from is going to be our user info. Two is going to be, oh, the account for creating the mint info. System program is definitely going to be system program. Then for space is going to be we're going to get that from the, what do you call it, from SPL create itself. That should work. Okay, I think I have to use um, Solana program. Program, no, I think it's program pack, then pack. What's the error now? Expected value found struct. Oh, len. Yeah, yeah. My bad. So the owner is going to be the SPL program, so we can just have that as token program. No, token program dot key. Wait, was that the accounting for key? Yeah, it was a pub key. And over here we just borrow that, and so we create the mint account just like a regular account. So that's what that's the first thing we do. And after that, we have to like initialize it. So initialize mint. Yeah, so initialize mint account. I'm not sure still as a function to do that. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. By old-fashioned way, I mean invoke. So invoke instruction info. So to make things clearer, I'm going to have instruction in its own variable. So I change this to x. I really like x. So we can just go SPL token instructions initialize mint, and yeah. So errors. So this should be a pub key. That's key should be satisfied. The means that's just going to be means info dot key. Means authority, we can set it to our user. That's key. And the freeze account, this is going to be option, so we just say some user dot info. Um, this is some. We can also set it to none if we don't want any like freezer info. So decimal, we need to like get our args. So we can get that from like data over here, but we have to deserialize it. It's currently in bytes. So let's say at this point we just do let args equals create try from bytes and data. Yeah, and that should be it. So we can say let's name equals remember name is going to be in bytes, not even we set it as bytes in when we're defining the instruction data over here. So if okay, we're going to need the name as a string when we're like updating it in the token metadata account, so we need to like convert it. Yeah, so still has the upper functions for that, so we just be like bytes to string, and we just say args.name. Okay, it's going to throw an error. Definitely was the error. Yeah, okay, it's asking us for the length. So I remember name was 32. Okay, okay, yeah, and we're good. And next is symbol. Next should be symbol if I'm right. Yeah, symbol. Symbol was 8. Then go down. After symbol was URI 1 to 8. And finally decimals. The decimals. And decimals should just be U8 decimals. And we're good at this point. So this is complaining because oh, this returns the result. So and yeah, we're good at this point. And next, the account infos. So account infos should just be like a slice of account infos. Okay. To make things clear, we could just say account infos over here. Then we just do. So this is basically the accounts that are involved in this instruction. So definitely user info. Then we clone because user info is going to be paying for yeah, user info is going to be paying for this. You also need the mint info. What else do you need? The token program dot clone. And give me a minute to look over this again. Token program means da 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 da. Ah, hmm, hmm. I have a feeling like I should add the system program. The system program. That's clone. You know what? I'll just add a comment later saying remove system program and see what happens. Well, yeah, but for now, let me leave the system programs, and this also returns a results. Yeah. What we've done so far is create the mint accounts and initialize the mint. So currently the the mint account should have like its data should be of type mint, and it should have it should have this field in the account called is initialized, so that should be set as true for after this happens. So after this we need to like update the data in the we need to update the data in the token metadata account. So I honestly can't come up with all that code because it's a lot. So I'm just going to copy it and paste here. But basically, what this does is just like um, updates the our information in the token metadata account. So why is this showing an error? The meta info. The Sysva rent. Oh, rent Sysva. Mm, that means it's going to cause function here. Okay. And what's the problem? Oh, remember what? Byte to string. What's the problem? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So the byte to string function returns a result. So I forgot to add this here, and it should be good now. Yeah, so that's it. To create meta data accounts. Yeah, so on the logic side, we basically just need to do three things. That's like create the mint accounts like a regular account. Um, we create the mint accounts like a regular account. We initialize the mint and we just create the metadata account. So that's what we've done so far. So to make sure our code actually works, let's go run the tests. Do. As usual, no need to stress yourself. We could just okay. So also when I'm writing my test, I like to have SDK on the side because it's literally the SDK we're going to call. So it's good to just have a view of it. So the first param is the user, second is the mint. So for the mint, we're going to like create a new key pair for it. So keep and if all this is going too fast, just like drop a comment, and I'll be happy to like answer. And excuse me, I think I need some water. Yeah. So our second param is going to be mints. Oh Lord, mints key pair dot pop key. Yeah, and now we're going to need all this data. So let's just get it over here. So let's just say let's name equals. So what's that going to be the name of our token? By the way, we have to transform it to bytes. So we have to do string, no, string to bytes, string to bytes. Yeah. So strings to bytes. Let's call it Anna. Let's call our token Anatoly. And yeah, strings to bytes. What's the problem? Oh, yeah, right. Why not test? So let's just use unwrap. And yeah, also let's just add the length. Name should be 32. Next. Um, next is going to be symbol. For our symbol, let's add Mert. That makes me laugh. No, that is a joke. It's just like a really chill guy. Um, then name symbol of URI. So string to bytes. Da, 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 da. 128. Yeah, so what should be our URL? Honestly, I can't. So let's just do blah 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 because I can't get a URI right now. So okay, decimals. We also have to include decimals. Let's decimals equals 9. So this is what we typically use for regular tokens, not NFTs. NFTs you'd use a zero instead. So over at this point, you're just saying name, symbol, URI, and decimals. Yeah, so everything looks good, but this is not going to work because we do not have the metadata account loaded to like program test, so we need to add it. Um, to add it, we can just do program tests dot add program. So its name is going to be name is like token metadata. That's the name. Metadata. Yeah, that's the name. And the pub key MPL. And for this, we can just leave this at none. So this is basically going to like add our token metadata program to program test so that we can use it in our test environment. But things don't end here. We also need to get the SO file for um, token metadata. Yeah, the MPL token metadata. So I don't know the ID, the pub key off my head, so I'm just going to copy it from here. So there's we can use Solana dump to get the SO file. So cd program. So we're going to store the SO file inside tests. Yeah, so we're going to create a folder called fixtures. And we're going to do Solana program dump. So and we need to like add the file output where we want it to like output. So it's going to be token metadata.so, and hopefully that works. Oh, it actually did work. Yeah, it did work. So we have the SO file over here and we should be able to run our tests. So basically what we just did is that we were adding the token metadata program to our program test. So just imagine the program test is running its like its own local version of Solana. And on that local version of Solana, we do not have the token metadata program from MPL from Metaplex. So we're adding it to our test environment basically. So you do that by doing program test add, then the name, the what they call it, the pub key, and you also have to like add the SO file. So you have to be sure that you add it to fixtures. I think there are two different, it automatically looks into fixtures. There's somewhere else it looks in, but I can't remember. Typically I just use fixtures. Mostly in my code I write, when I made a PR for a bounty last year, what I did was I created a build script, a Rust build script that just automatically just helped me get the SO file for whatever um, program I wanted to add. But I'll share the code in the description, but there's no need to like talk about that right now. So this is enough. We're good to go. So first off, let's build. Isn't it weird that we've not built our program throughout this whole thing? So as usual, I'm going to skip ahead for you guys. By the way, I've not slept all night. So now let's run still test. Right now we're not doing much. Right now we're just sending the instruction. So if processing the instruction, the transaction goes well, this is going to return okay and everything will be fine. But that's not enough. But for now, let's just go with that and see what happens. Yeah, so we're having error, not enough signers, and I think that's because of the mint key pair. We did not add the mint key pair to the signers over here. So mint key pair. Yeah, for that thing should be good now. And account required for instruction is missing. Hmm. What? Oh. Oh, I'm actually pretty dumb. It actually signifies the account that is missing. It tells me here that it's the rent CISVA, and I did not catch that. So that's supposed to be the rent CISVA. Let's clone instead of system program. So let's see. Oh, and it works. So that's not enough. That just tells us that, oh, our instruction was successful, but that's not how unit testing works. I also want to like confirm that some behavior actually like um happened. So for one, I'd like to read the mint accounts because remember previously it wasn't created. So at this point, after the instruction is run, it's supposed to be created. So let's look into it and see what it gives us. So let's say let's serialize mint data equals banks dot get account. So this is going to be the mint key pair pub key. So we have to call wait on this, then unwrap. Don't worry about unwrapping your test. They are not that terrible there. So is of type accounts. Yeah. Hmm. Is of type accounts. Okay. So what we want is the data. So like a regular account, we just look into the data. So now mint data itself is going to be SPL token states mint unpack, and we're going to like impute the serialized mint data because currently it's in bytes, so we want to like transform it to its regular form as a struct that we can look into. And yeah, so so we can do an assert that okay, that for one meets data, oh, that returns the result. So we'll just add unwrap here. Note, I'm only adding unwraps in the test side, not in the program. Please do not add unwraps on your programs, please, I beg you. So let's check if it's actually initialized. So that should be, oh, honestly, we do not need equals here. A regular asset would do. So assert equals, let's say, mint data. Uh, uh, um, mm. So these are all the types it has. The mint authority, that should be user. So, okay, it's called payer over here. Payer dot pop key. So payer is, what's the issue with this? Um, expected mint authority. Okay, okay. Mint authority was an option. So payer is the payer we added at this point. So it should be the mint authority. So we're just validating that, oh, it's the right mint authority. And what else should we add? Let me see. Let me see. I think decimals should be on it. Yeah, decimals. And at this point, we just check decimals. So far what we're doing is that okay, after we run the instruction, we're confirming that the mint is initialized. We're confirming the mint authority and also the decimals. So if our code works as expected, after I run still test, it should still be all greens. Oh, and yeah, it's all greens. But I still want to like show you guys the contents of mint data. I feel like that would be good. So currently still does not have okay, still does have the no capture flag. Shout out to Uber for making a PR for that. But I think it's in a earlier version, like version 4. So currently we're on like version 3. So that's why I can't use it on. The point of the no capture flag is that okay, even without my test failing, I want to be able to see my logs, but since we can't do that, we have to like make the test fail to be able to see our logs. So that's why I'm doing assert false at this point. And yeah, you see our log. So this is it. It's initialized true. And if you notice, the mint authority and the freeze authority are the same, which should be the pub key of payer. And with that, well, basically like that's like we've just created a token. Hooray. If I was good at editing, I would have like celebrations behind me, but I'm not, I don't have that. So from this point is good. I could say, okay, you guys go figure out how to mint or do other things yourself. But I want to show you guys how to like interact with the token you just created. So I'm going to like add a mint instruction, but you guys can go add transfer and whatever else, whichever instruction you want yourself. So since we're starting all over again, we have to go back to API, the beginning. So over in instruction, we're going to add mints one, and we need to create a mint struct, delete all this, add amount. So amount is going to be of U8, yeah, 8. And change this to mint. Bring this down. What's the error? Okay. Lib is good. SDK. So yeah, we have to like pretty much do the same thing. Create a SDK function for it. So we name it mint. Okay. So let's think about the instructions we're going to, the programs, the accounts we're going to need. So we're going to need mint authority. You can't do a mint without the mint authority. We need a recipient. Uh, can I spell recipient? Yeah, recipient. And we also need a recipient ATA. That's a associated token account. Besides that, what do we need? Um, the token program. Yeah, we need a token program. The ATA program. ATA means associated token accounts. And what else will we need? The system accounts. Just honestly, I'm not sure we need a system account or not for this. But yeah, okay, since we're going to be creating the ATA, yeah, we're going to need a system account. So I guess that's it. If something else comes up, we'll just add it. So we're not doing all this anymore. We can remove all this. Oh, mints. I did not add the mints. Yeah. So the mints of the token you actually want to like mint, the mint of the mint. So same thing. Let's say okay, let's change this to mint authority. Um Next is going to be recipients. Recipients pub key, recipients ATA pub key, and okay, mints. Then token program, ATA, and system program. We can get all that ourselves. Remove this. So this is going to be mint authority. Authority. Um, mint authority. Then recipients. I think I'm wrong for adding recipients, ATA over here, recipients. Okay, remove metadata. So we don't need this over here. We don't need this either. So we're going to need the associated token, the associated token accounts create. So we do that by cargo add SPL associated token account. Hopefully I'm right. I think I'm right, guys. I'm actually right. Yes, so that should add it to API. Yeah, I remember we don't want this here. We want it in the root. So paste this here. And we also have to like give it no entry. So we treat it as like a library instead of a program when we run um, cargo still build. So yeah. Uh, uh, um, hmm, what's the issue? What's the issue? What's the issue? There's, mm, I don't see it. Feature. What? Oh, there shouldn't be any error anymore after this. So we need to take this to the API, add workspace to it, equals true. And yeah, over here. So what was the other we said? Mint authority, recipient. So we need to get the recipient's ATA. That's the recipient's associated token program. I don't like calling it that. I'm sorry guys, but I'm not going to call it that anymore. So I'm just going to say ATA. So we do associated, yeah, get associated token address. How does that does still have it? Hmm. Who knows? So yeah, we're going to need the wallet address and the mint. So mint is just mint. Wallet address is going to be like the recipient. Mm, oh, he wants me to borrow it. Yeah. So recipient will not be a signer, so that should be false. False. I think only the mint authority needs to be the signer here. So add this over here. Next, mint token program, ATA program. So we need to add the ATA program here. Just do associate SPL associate. Yeah. And that should be it. And over at this point, we just say mint. So yeah, that means we need to add amount here. So amount is going to be a U64. So we can just say amount to the bytes. Because remember we set it as bytes. So yeah, with this we should be good with API. And as usual, let's go over to program. So over here we create a new file, call it min.rs. And remember, I'm a lazy developer, so I just paste everything. And so this will be mint. And this should be process mint. And here we just add mod mint. And here we do abuse mint. Um, yeah, we should be good. So now over to mint, we can delete all this. We can delete all this. We can delete all this. Yeah, and let's have SDK on the side just to know that we're consistent with our accounts. So honestly, let's just remove everything. So first account is going to be the mint authority. So mint authority info recipients info recipients ATA info mint info uh, um token program ATA program and system program. Yeah. So off to validation, validates. So mint authority, we want to make sure it's a signer, is signer, and recipient to the recipient.info. We just want to make sure it's writable. Yeah, want to make sure it's writable. Doing maybe anything else, any other checks. Recipient. Yeah, I think it's writable is enough. Then recipients HCA. Since this account is not created, we just need to check if it's empty and also check if it's writable. Yeah, we should be good with it. Then mint info. If I remember correctly, there should be a as mint. Oh, yeah. That's another thing with steel. How come we've not gotten to that point? If you want to use like still with SPL tokens and all that, you have to like get we have to set the flag. So over here we do version, then we need to add the feature SPL. So there are certain like SPL token. Let's even go into steel itself. Um, let me. Oh, can we pull up still? We can't access it. But basically, to get like things like token related things, just like you need to add the SPL feature. So over here, we can do something called as mint. So as mint is only going to appear when you have the SPL feature. So after mint, we're going to go into token program. So for programs, it's program and what program? The SPL token program. Mm, and next, ATA program is program associated, no, SPL associated. Why is this not working? It's because we've not added the SPL create to it. So imagine it's a program and over and mute. So should be like SPL associated token ID. And okay, finally the system program. And we just do system program. It's program system program ID. Yeah, and we should be good. So now we're going to into our logic. So all we need to do is just like mint some tokens. No. Yeah, we need to mint some tokens, but we need while we're minting, we're basically like sending tokens for to ATA address, so an associate token account. So we need to create our ATA address because okay, currently it's empty, so we need to create the ATA address. So create recipient ATA. So still has a helper function to help us do that to create associated token accounts. Yeah, that's it. And we can just fill it like a form. So founder is going to be mint authority. So the owner is going to be the recipient info. Token account is going to be the recipient info ATM. So mint info system associated. Okay, this is going to be our ATA program, and This is just enough to create the associated token account. So now that it's created, we can like send mint tokens to it. So mint to. So once again, we're going to be using invoke. So program, invoke, instruction, and account info. So let's instruction equals SPL token instruction means to. So yeah, that provides us all we need. So we need token program ID. That's going to be token program dot key. The mint pub key, that's going to be mint info dot key. Account pub key. So I'm assuming account pub key is like the ATA we're minting to. That's going to be recipient ATA dot key. Owner pub key. Owner is going to be mint authority. So that key. Signer. So I think that's just like a slice of pub keys. So mint authority dot key. And the amount, okay, we need to get the amount from the data. So that's going to be let's data. No, let's call it args. Let's args equals to mint try from bytes data, and let's amount equals we need to transform it to a U8, so we say try from bytes, or from lib, or it's actually from bytes, and this is going to be args dot amount, and that's yeah, that should be right. So instruction, okay, we need to add this here and make this. So up next, account. So account is like a slice of account infos to do. So over here, yeah. So token program account clone. Mint info dot clone. Mint authority dot clone. Da 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 da. What other accounts do we need? We have. Let's just add this. Do, 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 Yeah, and we should be good to go. Yeah, we should be done. But let's add logs so we can trace bugs if they do appear. So create. At this point, we say create a TA, and at this point, we say mint to ATA. Yeah. So we can go over to our tests. And in our tests, we can basically like just copy this beat. Let me rename this to create. Then yeah. So we just call this mint instead, and that's going to panic because we have different args. So first is going to be mint authority, that's right. Next is going to be recipient. So to save time, I'm just going to use the pub key, the owner, as the same recipient we're sending the token to. So what's next? Mint. Yeah, so mint is like mint keeper dot pop key. What's the problem there? Pop key, and next is the amount. So let's set amount to 100. And we should be good. Let's remove this. We only need one signer in this instruction, and that's going to be payer. And if everything is right, we should still see greens. So still test. And yeah, everything went well, so that's why we're still seeing green. But that just tells us that our instruction was successful. Let's also check that certain behaviors were actually like the things we actually did happen. So for one, we can check the what's it called, the ATA accounts. We can check if it actually has the 100 tokens that were minted. So the 100 Anatoly tokens that were minted. So we basically need to get the first we need to get the account of the ATA. So to get the account of the ATA, we need to get the address. To get the address, we just do okay, ATA equals get no, get associated. Is it associated? Let me do SPL associated token. So get token address. So the wallet we used was the payer. So payer pub key. This is going to be means keeper dot pub key. What's the issue? Okay, wants us to send a reference. And that's our ATA. So now let's get, okay, so we call it serialized ATA info. So that's going to be banks dot get account ATA. This is going to return a tuple. So let's just set it to, what's field pub key is private. That's weird. Oh, it already it already gets the ATA director. I confused it for the find program address. So we also need to add our weights, then unwrap and unwrap, which is annoying, and then data. So this is the serialized data. So we need to deserialize it. So ATA info is going to be equals to SPL states accounts and unpack, then serialize its info, and we should pass in a reference. So we use SPL states account because the associated token account is basically like modeled to this like account struct over here. So that's why we're using it to unpack the ATA info. So with this, we should have our data. So we can just do assert equals uh, assets equals ATA info data. Then we can do amount. So we need to do an wrap here because I think it returns and results or maybe options. So dot amount and 100. So if the test works again, this just validates that that 100 tokens were actually minted to this address. And yes, it works. Well, like we did before, let's log the contents of the HCA info. Just a good visualizer. I'm a visual learner, so I like visualizers. And yes, it worked. See, it's the mint, the owner, everything is all good. And this is what we actually checked for. And yeah, with that, we're done. I'm going to open source all this. You can actually find an example in the program examples repo. I contributed to some of the examples there, but yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to like text me on Twitter or Telegram. But I think Telegram is going to be better. And as a challenge to you, I'd recommend you try like other instructions under the token program. So you could try transfer, you could try burn or whatever. But yeah, thank you guys for this. It's been a pleasure.